Hi everyone, I'm really happy to be back here with you, and I've been pretty absent recently on YouTube. I just had to focus my energy somewhere else. I guided a lot of workshops in the past 3 months, and I also decided that for the time being I will not be taking any more private sessions because I really need to come back to my creativity. As some of you may know, I have an artistic background, and I set aside all of that creative side for the past 12 years. I really focused only on therapy, and I really need to come back to it now because I feel that my soul wants to, and I have things to transmit through writing, through painting and other things, so I'm really happy about that. In this video I'm going to talk about the energies of this last part of 2020, and I'm going to start off with some astrological aspects because there are a lot of them, and they are also related to certain important portals that we will be passing through by the end of the year. So the first one is on the 31st of October. It's the second full moon of the month. It's going to be a full moon in Taurus, and it's going to open up what I would call a time frame window until the portal on the 11/11, that we often call also the portal, the Scorpio portal. So what's going to happen is that it's going to open up this kind of a preparation phase towards this portal, and it's going to happen in the exact time frame where the presidential election in the US happens. So it's going to be pretty intense and pretty interesting to experience that, I think. And on the next day, on the 12th of November, there's going to be a conjunction between Jupiter and Pluto, just like we had on the 4th, 5th of April. I don't know if you remember exactly that time, but that was a really powerful time, transitional time for humanity as well. So for me, on the 4th, 5th of April, it was more like an opening of this energy, and now on the 12th of November, it's going to be a closing of that energy. And because we are talking about Scorpio energies here, then we might see it as accepting to die in order to be reborn. And this also addresses, of course, this whole purge and dark night of the soul that the collective is going through right now, purging all these negative and dark patterns of the 3D. Then on November 30th we have a lunar eclipse in Gemini, and on the 14th of December we have a full solar eclipse in Sagittarius. And so it's this Sagittarius-Gemini axis. So Gemini rules over communication, the media, and Sagittarius, like Scorpio, also tends to go towards the truth with a capital T. So it's going to be probably a time where a lot of truths are revealed, maybe in the mainstream media. Finally it's going to surface. Anyway, we all know that a lot of information is going to come out by the end of the year. And I think these two aspects will really help also everything to be surfaced. And on the 21st of December, there's going to be a Jupiter-Saturn conjunction in Aquarius. Now that's a really important date because there's going to be a major portal on that day. And because it's in Aquarius, we could say that it's kind of the end of the 3D structures. It's the end of limitations, and it's a step towards more freedom. Now, of course, it doesn't seem like it now in the 3D world because it looks like quite the opposite right now. But this is the year of all the contrasts. As you know, 2020 is really a year of all the contrasts. And what I feel is that on that day, there's going to be a very high influx of high frequency energy that will really shift the consciousness of the planet. And because it's in Aquarius, it's also of course related to this new age of Aquarius, but it doesn't mean that it's going to necessarily start on that day. We are still in this transitional phase towards that new age of Aquarius. It just means that there's something in the energy that's going to be anchored on that day during that portal. The main message of this video, and I think it's the most important message, is first of all, let's talk about frequency, energy, and vibration, because we all know that everything is frequency, everything is vibration, everything is energy. And for example, in the words that I am speaking right now, of course you can listen to what I'm saying, but you can also receive the energy that is transmitted through the words that I'm saying. And this is the message. The message is, yes, there's going to be a lot of turbulence in the outside world, but we are not necessarily going to be affected by it. And in order not to be affected by it, we need to really take care of our own vibration, our own inner world. And we need to maintain a high vibration. So how do we do that? Well, first of all, by stopping to focus on the negative agendas or negative timelines, such as vaccines, chips, the New World Order, we are all doomed, which will really maintain a fear vibration in our being. And we need to focus more on our daily life, our direct environment, which also includes, of course, our inner world. And that's how we're going to find this centeredness and this peace and this calm within. So a lot of self-care is needed right now. So we need to take care of ourselves. We need to also focus on what brings us joy, happiness. If we have children, focusing on taking care of our children, our families. And by doing that, we're going to maintain a high vibration because we are taking care of our own inner world and kind of cultivating our own inner garden in a way. So sometimes people ask me, okay, you talk a lot about 5D, about the new earth, but where is the 5D? Where is the new earth? I can't see it. So first of all, the 5D, the new earth, starts here. It's right here. It's in the heart center and it starts within. So if we wanted to connect to these timelines, these 5D timelines, we need to cultivate 5D first inside of ourselves. So first of all, I want to just say a word about this whole year 2020. I know it's a year that has been a year of all very extreme contrast for everyone. And I've certainly experienced that contrast because it's almost like I was observing what was happening in the collective, and I know because it is a pivotal year for humanity, a lot of people went through troubled times, they had a hard time, they were in pain, they experienced loss, etc. And of course I felt really sorry for all these people. And I felt a lot of compassion as well. But on the other hand, in my personal life, I've been having a very positive year. It's almost incredible to say it, but yes, I've had an incredible year. It started off in the beginning of the lockdown. I went through a kind of phase where I was told I was going through a kind of alchemy of the soul process. And so I connected really strongly to the divine at that time. And it lasted for about 3 weeks where I really was so connected to the divine. I never felt that at any time in my life in that way, that I would say almost like my mind, my ego was, like gone for 3 weeks. I was feeling this divine presence constantly. And of course, after these 3 weeks, there were more like things that came back. But that was a very intense feeling that I had for these 3 weeks. That's also a time where I published a video called The Light Has Won. And on my French YouTube channel, that video went a bit viral. So I had like something like 100,000 views in 3 days or something like that, because I was connected to that energy that was really flowing through me. And then during the year, I met a lot of beautiful souls. I shared a lot of beautiful, very high vibrational moments with these people. I also met a special someone. So a lot of changes have been really there for me also during this year, but mostly positive changes. And so from my perspective, it's like in my daily life, I experience 5D, because when I connect to people, it's always this lightness of being. There's always this joy, this love, and everything is pretty positive in my life. Of course, I've had also periods where I was, feeling sad for the collective. I was seeing all these people with these masks and not seeing their face. I found it really, really sad. But even that, in the end, during, for example, last summer, I felt really detached towards that reality. It's almost like I was not feeling indifference, it's not that, but I was really feeling a kind of detachment. And then I came across a text by Osho, and it's called The Rebel, I think, so you might find it on the internet. And it described exactly that, because he was saying that the real rebel, is not a revolutionary, it's someone that is detached from society, and he doesn't feel love or hate for society. It's just that he's distant and he's detached. And that's exactly what I was feeling, so I thought it resonated quite well. So I received in advance some information about this year 2020 on a personal level, but when I saw that it actually manifested it kind of really strengthened my faith. And I can really say that right now my faith is kind of indestructible. And I think that faith is also a question that we might ask right now, is where are we at regarding our faith? Our faith in the future, our faith in the divine, our faith in humanity, etc. Because as light workers, what I strongly feel right now is that it was part of the mission that we had pre-incarnation, that we decided to be here in this space-time reality during this ascension, to emanate this light, to anchor this light on Earth, but not necessarily seeing already the proof of what we are trying to manifest. So we don't necessarily already have proofs of this new Earth that is here, or this 5D reality where everything is love and joy and lightness and abundance. But whether we see it or not is not the question. It's really, it takes us back to this faith that we really need to find within. It's, okay, I'm not necessarily seeing that right now, but I'm going to maintain that vibration. I'm going to maintain my focus on this light that is connected to the divine source, of course. And I know within, that's my belief, and that's also part of my faith, that because I'm going to maintain that frequency, slowly but surely, I'm going to be able to kind of see a convergence of the timelines of all the collective of human beings that will gradually go towards this new reality that is being birthed. So again, it really all starts within. So I'm just going to say a word about the quantum aspect of it all. So as you know, there's this quantum field that is an infinite field with infinite possibilities, infinite timelines, and infinite realities. And what determines what reality or timeline we're going to experience is the frequency that we are emanating. So again, if we are emanating and stuck in fear, whether it's fear of the New World Order or fear of the virus or whatever, we're going to manifest also a reality where we're going to be confronted to this fear. But if we vibrate love, if we vibrate joy, if we vibrate abundance, then we're going to also be connected to these positive timelines that we want to create for this world. So it's really a responsibility and a choice, and we all have this choice and this responsibility of our own lives and what we want to manifest. And of course, this doesn't mean that if we experience kind of difficult emotions such as fear, anger, hate, sadness, whatever, that we need to suppress those emotions, thinking that, oh, if I feel this emotion, that means that I'm a low vibration. It doesn't work that way. If the emotion is there, we need to welcome that emotion, we need to embrace it, and we need to feel it fully. That's part of the process. And right now, some of us because we are also purging the collective, this whole dark night of the soul of the collective, some of us still need to purge certain emotions, and that's perfectly normal. Some of us will find more and more balance and more harmony in our lives. Some of us will experience a lot of joy and a lot of love in our life. It doesn't matter. Everything that's there is normal. That's the first thing. And I also receive sometimes questions about physical symptoms. So it's also a time, because we are receiving such high frequencies from frequencies of light, that our bodies also need to readjust, and the body needs to integrate what it is receiving. So it's perfectly normal if we feel tired, if we need more sleep, or the opposite, if we feel like extremely active and we can't sleep, or our nervous system is very active and needs maybe to be more calm. All kinds of symptoms that we might feel are normal. And again, this takes us back to self-care. As we need to take care of our inner world, we also need to take care of our bodies right now, because our bodies are regenerating and anchoring also these new frequencies that are present right now. And I saw two images concerning also what is happening currently. The first one was the principle of communicating vessels. So when one container rises up, the other fills up with the liquid. And this is what happens when the light is emerging more and more. There's more and more pressure on the darkness, on the shadow. So this is why we are feeling this pressure, and this pressure is because they are scared. The shadow is being dismantled in a way. It's being revealed to the light, and so it is scared and it is fighting for its own survival. So this is why we have also this huge contrast right now. And the other image I had was the one of an octopus that was spitting out its black ink and kind of, running away, swimming away rather. And this represented really also this 3D matrix that is fighting for its own survival. And this dark ink is like the veil of illusion. It's the veil of illusion that we are able to pierce now. And how do we pierce that veil of illusion? We pierce it through our own light. But for that, of course, we need to recognize this light within ourselves. And to find this light within ourselves, we first need to face our shadows. And that's how the light is revealed. So for many of us that we have been on this path for so long now, that we have been working on ourselves, working on our own shadow, we are also now gathering the fruits of our labor, I have to say. That's certainly my case, especially this year. I'm now going to talk more about this portal and important date of the 21st of December 2020. There's a lot of information out there about also this event, the solar flash event, maybe happening on that day. I've talked previously in some other videos, I think it was in 2016 or 17, I can't remember exactly, but I actually dreamed of that solar flash. I was at the time living nearby the mountain of Bugarache, which is a mountain in the south of France, quite similar to the Mount Shasta. It's also a portal, intergalactic portal. And so that night I dreamed that I was outside, just at the foot of this mountain. It was night. And suddenly, out of nowhere, there was this huge solar flash, and instantaneously it's almost like it was daylight in the middle of the night. So like everything was illuminated, and I had a very strong feeling of really like a lot of joy, a lot of high frequency energy, almost like kind of revelation in a way. And just after that, I saw a huge mothership above the mountain. And then I woke up, and because I was sleeping near that mountain, I kind of, got out of bed and went to check out the window if there was something. And of course there was nothing, but it still was quite funny that it all happened simultaneously in that way. So, is it going to happen on that date? I don't know. I know it's going to happen because I've seen it in my dreams. I know a lot of people have seen it in their dreams or in visions. And because there's a lot of uncertainty, because everything is speeding up so much right now, from one day to another, it's a different energy almost. So you can't really say precisely this will happen on that date. Of course, it could be probable because it is a very important date, a very important portal. And what I can feel about this event also is that it's not necessarily something that's going to be chaotic for everyone anyway. I felt it in my dream as something very positive and very high vibrational. So I think it's almost like, almost like at last, at last. And it's gonna help humanity to shift in this new consciousness, that's for sure. So we will see if it happens on that date or not. And lastly, I wanted to talk about the Mount Uluru, because again, related to this 21st December portal, there's going to be a major event there on that day. And so in meditation, I actually connected there, and I connected to the ancient guardians of the earth there, so the Aboriginals. They welcomed me, and they said that they almost like invited me and my tribe to come and join them on that day, which will be really a day of celebration. That's really what I saw. I saw a lot of joy, a lot of rejoicing, a lot of, again, like a kind of reunion also between certain galactics, certain intraterrestrial beings, and that it's a shift, it's going to really open up that portal on that day. It's going to activate something very important for the earth. I've actually connected with the Lemurians 1 year ago, and they said that yes, all these portals on the planet were currently reactivated. They were kind of dormant till then, and they were really helping, these frequencies to be anchored through the planetary grids, through all these portals. They also showed me crystals, so it might be interesting to hold on to a crystal, maybe clear quartz that day, and just to connect, in consciousness with them and their celebration over there. I think it's going to be really powerful, and if we all hold the space and the intentions, to bring the more light possible on this planet, it's really going to help. What they also showed me, and again it talks about this contrast, it's quite funny actually, is that with this whole pandemic, they often talk about these clusters, and they said we are different kinds of clusters. There are different kinds of clusters on Earth, and it's created by all these gatherings of these pure souls that gather together. And I saw an image like bubbles gathering together, full of color, like almost like soap bubbles with kind of pinky, really light colors, like in that way. And when we gather to get together, we spread these bubbles, and it's like we cleanse out the density, we cleanse out the darkness on this planet. So once again, the main message of this video is really to remain focused on our own frequency and maintaining that frequency as high as possible right now, to remain centered, to remain calm, and to not focus on anything that is happening externally, which doesn't mean that we need to deny what is happening. It's just that the main focus is here, it's inside, because that is also, the trap of the 3D matrix in the end. It's that they want us to believe that what determines our inner reality, our inner state, is dependent upon what is happening outside of ourselves, where in fact that is the illusion, and the truth is right here. So I've seen and I felt already this new earth, what it looks like, what it feels like. It's very abundant, it's full of joy, it's full of communities of soul tribes gathering. It's very connected also to Mother Earth, and it's really full of love, full of lightness. It's really incredible. But in order to manifest that, we first need to feel it here. We first need to manifest it in our lives, in our bodies, and in our hearts. Sat Nam.